white to play, you can try to figure out what is the winning plan for white in this position. You can spend some time, pause the video, and try to calculate what happens next. And once you figure it out, you can play through the video and see if it's right. Okay, so white would of course promote, right? We promote to a queen, black promotes to his queen. Now you can't take the queen because it will be stalemate. Because of this pawn and the king, the black king has no squares. If queen takes queen, it is stalemate. Which is why now there is a nice triangulation by the queen. The queen first goes to g8. Black has to insist on exchange of queens. And now white goes to e8. So white went to g8 and then to e8 to just come to d4 basically. Now black has only one move because any normal move like a check would lead to mate. Black would get checkmated. So you have to go queen a4, trying to exchange, asking for the exchange. But now queen d4 check. And when king moves, the queen goes back to the original place, but with black to play. In the starting position, after the promotion, it was white to play. White couldn't take the queen. Now it is black to play. So black has only one option, right? I mean, whatever black does, any king move would be checkmate. So if you try this, queen just takes it. If you try this, queen just takes it. And now it is just game over. Now you might wonder why not directly queen e8 and then after queen at a4 just come to d4, same thing, right? But no, if you go directly to e8, black has the option of staying on this 7th rank and covering d4, which is not possible if you go to g8. Now you can't go to g7, right? Just takes. So you have to play queen e2 and then queen e8. Again, you cannot go to g7. You have only this square available. So you have only one option, which is this queen a4. And now queen d4, and it's winning. So the queen just does a little bit of triangulation here to pass the move to the opponent and wins. When you solve this puzzle, try to figure out who is going to win this game. It is white to play right now. Black has a pawn about to promote. So try to evaluate the position, calculate, and decide what will be the result of this game. Now, if you think a little bit, you might wonder whether the rook can stop the pawn or not, because it all comes down to whether the rook can stop the pawn. If you play any normal move, black will just promote. White has no checks, right? White has nowhere to get to the a5. But white still has rook h7, right? Because now if black promotes, there is rook takes pawn. And after king moves, rook check, king moves, white wins. Yeah. But when white plays rook h7, black can just go king a5, isn't it? Because if rook takes, there is king a6. And now black wins. So what is actually the result of this game? So one more line is after rook h7, of course, promotion would be the line that we just saw, that white wins, right? King, rook check, king moves, and the skewer. And white wins. Yeah. But after king a5, white can go rook h8 and white still wins. Right? It's all about getting to the 8th rank. Because white's a bishop up, if you give up your rook for the new queen, you just win. Here you're winning the queen completely. So what is it actually? What is the result of this game? The result is a draw because rook h7, black promotes, rook takes, king moves, and after the rook check, black would just go to b4. That's so difficult to see. You would calculate king b2, but that's winning for white. So king b4, and now white must take because black is a queen up, right? So if you take, it is stalemate. So that is why the position is actually a draw. This is the famous Saavedra position named after a Spanish priest. So I'll first let you figure out what you think is the result of this game and what is the plan, what are the moves. Okay, so of course white would want to push the pawn. Now can black stop this pawn? There is no rook d8, there is no rook c5, so how can black ever stop the pawn? Black can't, so black uses check. Now if king goes to b7, it's an immediate draw. Black would draw the game there because there's a pin and rook would take the pawn. King c5 allows rook d1. And now you still can't promote. And it's a draw. Because after king goes back, is rook c1 and then take the pawn draw. So the king cannot cross. Right? Black has no way to stop the pawn completely. But the king cannot cross and attack the rook. Then what can king do? He goes to b5. Rook check. Again, you can't cross because rook d1. King moves. So what is white up to? White is up to this. He comes king c2, stopping rook d1. And now there's no rook d8. There's no way to stop the pawn, isn't it? But there is still a good try for black. Rook d4. The idea is if you promote, just rook c4. And it's a stalemate. So this position was thought to be a draw for a long time until the Spanish priest Saavedra said, after rook d4, white is still winning. How? Can you find out? White under promotes to a rook. Now, of course, rook c4 doesn't do anything because white would just take and white's a rook up and then mate is going to follow. But how is it winning? Both sides have a rook. It's winning because black king is stuck in the corner. There's a threat of mate. White has only one move here, rook a4. Now, what is the winning move? Just king b3. Threatening the rook and threatening mate. If you want to stop the mate, you'll have to give up the rook. And of course, white would win that game. So this is a winning position and it involves an under promotion. This is a very famous study composed by Richard Reti. At first sight, it would look like black is going to win because black has just pushed the pawn. If you push king b7 and white can never take this pawn, white can never chase this pawn down. But black's king can chase the c pawn down. So it looks completely winning for black. But the geometry in chess allows white to draw this game. Can you find out how to draw this game as white? White plays king g7. If black pushes, this king f6. So white's taking a diagonal route so as to come towards his pawn and to come towards the opponent pawn. Now, if black pushes, just king e6. And if black pushes, white pushes. And both sides promote at the same time. If king b7, of course, king d7, and still a draw. Now, one other thing black could try is after king g7, you can try king b6 now or after one move. Here, king b6 or one move before. Then white would continue going in the diagonal. And if you take the pawn, I'm in the square. I'm stopping a pawn. And if you push, I come to d6. And it's still a draw because you push, I push. And you promote, I promote. There is no skewer. There's no tactic. Both sides have a queen and it's going to be a draw. So, however impossible it looks for this to be a draw, it is a draw because of this smart journey by the white king. This is one of the toughest puzzles in chess. This is considered the study of the millennium, Mitrofanov's study. Now, let's understand what is going on. Black has only one pawn to promote, which is about to promote. And black's king is stuck here with white's pawn and king going forward. White has an extra rook as well. It's not doing much. And white has a pawn here as well, right? So it all comes down to whether white can checkmate the king here after promotion or with these pawns and king, or will black be able to promote and win the game or draw it? So the most obvious move here is push. We just push the pawn, yeah? King will go to a8. Why a8? If you go to b8, then pawn pushes, black promotes, and this is a checkmate, right? There is no way to block. So after king a8, if white pushes, black promotes and white promotes, there is bishop b8. And white's not able to checkmate him because a7 allows the queen to get, right? But the winning move in this position is not g7. G7 is only going to be equal because black will promote and the queen will be in the game. Queen will start giving checks. King will have nowhere to hide. You won't get to take. For example, if you push, black promotes, white promotes, bishop b8 is forced, and now a7, right? Now queen a1 check. King b5, queen b2 check. If you have a block, just queen e2 check. So king will not be able to hide. If he goes to c5, we can bring the knight in now, knight d3 check. So basically the king will never get to have a hiding square from the checks. There are far too many pieces. Even though bishop is pinned, there's too many pieces for black. and it's black's turn. Which is why after king a8, after b6 check, king a8, white's winning move is rook to e1, stopping the promotion. So black has to take, right? Now we push and black promotes. We promote. Bishop b8, a7. You see the difference? There is no queen a1 check. There's no check. You can't take here also. There's a white queen. He'll be mate. So what can black do? Black's best try here is to somehow bring the queen in. And that's by playing knight c6 check. White has to take and then queen hy check. So again, the black queen is in the game, right? If you go king a6, there is queen e2. And it's again a draw. The king can't escape the checks. There's a knight and queen to check the king with. Which is why after queen takes pawn, here again comes a brilliant move with the same idea, a deflection. And the move was, you can pause the video and try to find out the winning move for white here. Queen g5. Queen takes queen is the only move, right? There's no other check. So queen takes queen and now king a6. Now you see the point, the king is on a light square, queen is on a dark square, so there is no check along the diagonal. And there is no check along the side also. The threat is b7. That's checkmate, right? So that is why this queen move was done, so that the black queen is moved out of the square, out of the e2 square, basically. It has to go here and now there's no check. Now black's best chance here would be just to take, right? Because now if b7, the king just moves. That doesn't work. We have c7, another nice move. Because we're threatening b7, we're threatening c8. So bishop can't take the pawn because of c8. And if you want to stop b7, you'll have to play the only move here, queen a5. The only try. King takes and now bishop takes allows promotion, right? King b7 is the best try. If bishop takes, we can actually just take with the king. And again, it's mate, right? So king b7. Now how do we win? Just take the bishop. And black cannot stop both the pawns. The knight is useless. The king can't take both. Whichever one he takes, the other one promotes. And white just wins. This is a little bit of a magical puzzle, something that would never happen in a game. I mean, it's very difficult for something like this to happen in a game. It's sort of magical. It's sort of beautiful. I'll let you try to understand what is actually going on. And then you can follow the solution. As you can see, the white king is stuck here, but so is the black king. One check with a knight here or a queen here is game over, or a rook here, right? But then comes a problem of stalemate. Black has only one legal move. There's no other possible move for black. So if you promote to a queen, I would just go d3, and now there's nothing you can do to stop the stalemate. Whatever you do, you cannot even give me a move. You cannot sacrifice a queen somewhere to give me a move. You can't do nothing. So basically, it's a draw, which is why the winning plan here is just so beautiful. Promote to a knight. Why? After d3, knight b6. Black has to take only legal move. Push. Again, black has to just push. And again, you promote to a knight. Don't promote to a queen because b4, there's no way to win. It will be a stalemate. So promote to a knight. b4 is the only move. Knight d6. And now e7. Same thing. Push. Promote to a knight. Now d4 is the only move. And now comes knight f6. Again, black has to take and g7. Black has to push. And now we promote again to a knight. So 4 under promotions. And the fourth one leads to checkmate. So how beautiful is that? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video and please subscribe to my channel for more such content.